So let's take a look at another equation other than a plus 7. Let's throw out an equation and go 5 plus 6. So if you learned anything from the first video, you're thinking to yourself, well, Mr. Stanley said I could use one of these numbers to make a double. So let's show it on our number rack. So we have 5 numbers on the top, which is the first 5 beads. They're the red ones. And then I have 5 beads and another one to help me with the bottom one. So if I'm looking at this, I could think, well, you know what? I really am close to a double here. You can clearly see that there are 5 red beads on the top and 5 on the bottom. And you probably already know that a double 5 or 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. And then that 6th one that's just kind of floating here, right here, we just add that one more and we make that into 11, and that's our total. So that's one way to think about it. Or maybe you want to explore the 6. So we have the 5 plus 6. Maybe I want to think, okay, there is a double here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add this one more because I like 6 plus 6, or 6 plus 6 is easy for me to work with, and that is 12. But I added one of these so that I could get to that number 12 because I know 6 is easy for me to work with. So I have to take one away to get the answer because ultimately it is a 5 plus 6. So this one I'm going to need to get rid of. And I'm going to do that right now. So that's a 6. And it's almost like a 6 minus 1 plus 6 is equal to 11. And that's going to give me my answer. So that's some ways to think about it. Let's take a double. Most of you are familiar with all of these doubles. So let me clear off my drawing. Most of you are familiar with the double. So let's take one that might be a little bit more challenging. So I'm going to take this, and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, I know what this shows. We have 9 beads on the top, 9 beads on the bottom. So we've got 9 plus 9. And some of you might already know that answer. But if you use the number rack efficiently, you might be able to think, wow, this is a lot like 2 doubles combined. That's going to help me get my answer a little quicker. So if you haven't already memorized what a double 9 is, this is one way to look at it and think, wow, I already know what this is. If I look at the top 2 numbers, I see a 5 plus 5, which I know, as I said previously, is 10. And then if you look here, I've got 4 white beads on the top and 4 white beads on the bottom, and that's an 8. So now we can take those 2 numbers, or those 2 sums, and we can add them together and say 10 from here, the 8 from the whites, and that's going to give me a grand total of 18. And that's what 9 plus 9 is 18. So there are multiple uses for a number rack, and you can think of that in terms of like how am I gonna use this number rack to help me. So the big question is, or for you to show your thinking today, I want you to take a screenshot or explain your thinking on how you would use the number rack for this equation. So the equation that I want you to focus on today is a 6 plus 7. How can you use the number rack to get a 6 plus 7? So a couple of different ways that you can do this. You can use this very same app that I'm using on a Chromebook. You could use it on an iPad. You could even draw it if you wanted to, and put your thinking in this Google slide. It's the next slide to show me how you would use the number rack to solve 6 plus 7.